I've just been muted the whole time, so that's all good. I've just opened chat, so if you sent a message before, I would not have noticed it. Anyway, as written somewhere up there, I'm going to make the lasers actually hurt stuff, and I'm going to put health bars on things so that you can see them getting hurt. I don't know how much the laser's going to do damage. This is my laser prefab right here. It has a projectile script, so it's got a speed and a range. I could probably put a damage on there, and I might add a type on there one day. Is this, can you like jump straight to editing this? Edit script. Yeah, there we go, that's popping Visual Studio open. So that's nice. Yeah. So I'm a bit tired. I'm basically going to just I'll just try and get those couple of things working and then wrap up the stream, unless I'm really fast, in which case I might consider adding a little bit of audio so that the lasers can go pew pew. I might put placeholder audio, which might be me saying pew pew. So that'll be fun. Oh, good. What's new? Yes, because I updated that last time I closed it. I'll read that later. More likely I won't read that ever. And then years down the track, there'll be some new feature and I'll see someone use it or discover it and then go, oh, wish I knew about that. Right, this is open at routine editor and I want projectile. So basically we've just got a speed it goes, a range, should have a rigid body 2D on these things, so I probably just should require a component there, but not camera, but rigid body 2D. I feel like I'm only saying half of rigid body 2D. This bit here is tricky. Should call it a rigidity. Yeah, it's a rigidity 2D. That's what it is. Yep, so they require one of those. I don't know if we actually need that, but I think require component will make it attach when you add this script, but it doesn't. Not sure if it forces it to still be there afterwards. Anyway, so I want these to do damage, which means they've got to hit stuff, and the things they're going to hit are of the same type as this robot here. And this is stuff I set up last time. I don't 100% remember what it was, but it is the script for hittable objects. And so they've got hit points, a max HP, collision damage, and I believe they have ways to hit each other or get hit by stuff. So I'll have a look at that hittable object as well. I'll make that a little bit smaller and focus on the code for now. So the hittable object, the way that it does hitting, I'm just going to get rid of those unwanted things from the script. So essentially we've got when something collides, if the hittable object isn't invincible, then it tries to get another hittable object that it's run into. So this is basically my handler for colliding, not being hit by a projectile, but colliding with another object, which are the factories, walls, robots, and I'll make a rock as well. I need a hittable rock. Might quickly make that today if I've got time. Yeah, but this is basically all just handling running into another hittable object. And now this projectile, I wonder if the hittable objects, they can be hit by other objects. They can also be hit by projectiles. Maybe I don't need to worry too much about putting any code in the projectile. Either the projectile is going to have to get the hittable object that it ran into, and when it gets that hittable object, then it will hit it. You know, this code already does what I want. It's just this collision damage here that we don't necessarily have on projectiles. And they also don't have hit points. So this basically relies on both hittable objects to compute their own damage. They just get the collision damage from the other thing. But I could make a public do damage on these, and that's what I'll do. Don't need to do anything too fancy. I'm going to call this take damage. And we want an amount of damage. And that will I'm not doing damage types yet, but I might at some point. But I'll just update all this at the time. And actually, this code here is the take damage code. Right there. There we go. Make it take damage, and there's our take damage implementation. Done. So that's good. Just inline that. Oh, that's the wrong key shortcut. Yes, inline temporary variable. Now, I think I'm going to make this a little different. So I'll just rename this to object okay, hittable. So we don't want to just do that. I'm going to do this instead. So this is like running into something. And we need to bounce back. And then for projectiles, what am I doing here? We want to duplicate that line. And then instead of hittable, we want to call that projectile. And it's not a hittable object, it's a projectile. And then same thing, if projectile is not equal to null, then we take damage equal to the amount of projectile dot. Now, projectile has got a speed and a range. doesn't have a damage. Interesting. I think there's an interface we can use here. But anyway, yep. Oh, we don't need to do a serialized field if it's public, I think. What's a good amount of damage? 20? Let's say 20. So now projectile has a damage field that we can set. Now we can use that damage there. So that should make those projectiles actually do damage as long as they actually are set up as physical objects. So let me get this laser beam here. Okay, it's got a rigid body. It's a dynamic body. That's interesting. So yeah, I'm basically just setting the velocity on these. And that's all. Let's test it. I think that should work now. Oh, yeah, the projectile needs to actually also be destroyed. There's a weird thing where they shoot the projectiles backwards right now. I'm using an animator to do that, but apparently flipping them doesn't make it do that. That's just like a flip robot. The others have turned properly. So are those doing anything? I don't know. Let me clear that. And just grab that scene. Let me just grab this robot. Oops. Robot, that's a tile. Oops, that robot. Okay, hit points 100. Seems to be not taking any damage, so let's get that prefab. Laser beam prefab here. Damage 20. So that should be working, I think. But okay, I've got a collider and I've got a rigid body. That's a trigger collider. That's a dynamic rigid body. And a robot has got a capsule collider that's not a trigger. And a full kinematic collision thingy there. That might be a trigger enter. So that laser beam here, because it's a trigger collider, it would probably be trigger enter instead of collision enter that we want to use. Well, there's also a non-reference exception happening, so let's just check. That is a bug in Unity Editor. That's not caused by me. And I didn't just figure that out then. That's just something that comes from the animator window. And you can see the animators. There you go. It's going crazy there. Closing and reopening it tends to fix that. The lasers are actually hitting each other. So I think I want those lasers to be trigger colliders. And maybe I just need, that doesn't need to be private. It's already private. I don't need the keyword private, I mean. Members of classes are private by default. So let's try that. And see, this is a collision 2D and this is a collider 2D. So that's the actual collider involved in the collision, whereas this is a collision object that has info about the collision. But I think that's the other. I don't need that. I actually don't even necessarily want to return on invincible for this one. Because in this case, I probably don't really want to there either. So they could be invincible and still bump into something. Right, so just get the collision code out of here. Now I'm going to do two things here. This code's becoming more complicated, but that's okay. There's reasons for it. So basically, if we're not invincible, then we want to take damage. And then also bounce back. So I can simplify that. If hittable is equal to null return. And then this slot doesn't have to be in a block indented. And then that bouncing back will happen regardless whether they're invincible. You can still get knocked down. Okay. So to get hit potentially by projectile, do the same thing as there. If projectile is null, let me return. And otherwise we're going to do, if we're not invincible, then take some damage. And then we also just need to destroy the projectile. Or tell it to destroy itself. And like spawn its effects. For now, I won't worry about that. I'll just destroy it. There. Just grab that game object from the collision and destroy it. So it would be better if I weren't just quickly getting this up and running to have that projectile destroy itself. That way it can deal with spawning a particle effect or something to show, or even an awesome explosion sprite like the one that I'm using that I put together last stream. Reminds me I should open sprite here. Just in case I want to make some sprites. All right. Fantastic. I've actually got that in memory. There's the awesome cracked concrete wall that I made. Bit of research to do there to get that pixel art. That robot is shooting itself because it's backwards. Well, I think they're all shooting themselves. So I might need to fix up the projectile spawning a little. So obviously when those are spawning, they are touching the things that they're spawning. So the things they're spawning from. So I've got on the robot, I've got this laser gun, which is the spawn point for the laser beam. And can I do a single frame? Is it getting close to... I need that animated window I closed, don't I? There, because that will actually show what's going on with this robot. It's doing the walk animation here, I believe. Right, let me pop that like there, and also open the animated controller. So this is the state machine inside that little robot that runs the animation. So it's in the fire laser, and I think it's halfway into that it actually does the firing. So if I grab that animation right there at 30 out of 60 steps. So yeah. So let's step a little bit further. I think here we'll be able to see when it gets to there. So about 10 more frames. Where's my robot gone? Select the robot. Yeah. There. So there's your problem. Can I select that and that one? So yes, too much overlap there. I'm going to select the laser gun. So that collider ends right at the edge of that pixel there for now. So I'm going to grab laser gun and that laser beam, the appropriate laser beam, together. And then well, let's look at moving that across. That is snapping to the grid, which I don't want. Can I hold Alt or something to... Let me just turn off grid snapping. So basically, if that's about there, it should be fine. So that's where I'll put it. So that is where that spawns. So now the laser gun is moved on this clone. And this robot is made from a prefab, but I guess while we're running, it's not able to do that. So just the relative position here, 0.54110. How different is that from 0.55? Not very. Interesting. I will need to do something with these to make it so they can't hit the thing that they're spawning from, because I'll have other things and they might have the laser mounted somewhere further back where it can't just necessarily spawn right in front of them. But for now, just moving it out of the way so it doesn't do that collision is enough. But let me undo that, copy this, component, and now I'll stop that playing. And just grab here's a robot. This is a flipped robot, so I don't want to actually do that on that one. I'll jump into the prefab for the robot. And grab this laser gun, just paste those values. Do I have paste? Yes, paste component values. There, so move the laser gun out further. And I guess that's because that's not the left-hand side point of the laser beam. It is the midpoint, so it needs to have enough space. And I guess it's just a longer laser beam than I anticipated. I think I said the word anticipated strange there. No problem. Okay, that might fix them destroying themselves. Just jump out of robot there. That one will still be shooting itself. I should get rid of that one. It's not actually a real one. Just going into the scene view because I don't have health bars yet, which means I have to actually look here to see the hit points. So now they're actually shooting each other a bit, and then they're running into each other. And that actually means I can play this game better. I can make mine work better by having them walk forward, yes, but mostly shoot. Maybe 5 shoots. So mine will be sitting there shooting when the other one walks forward, possibly. Is it going to get exploded? It didn't. Oh, and it's also going to get shot in the back by its friend. I don't know if I want to turn off friendly fire here. I possibly do, but it is funny. Yeah. So that means they need to move out of the way of their buddy before they can get shot. So yeah, I could basically have like enemy projectile and friendly projectile layers, and I could have like enemy and friendly layers, and then turn on collisions only between enemy projectiles and friendlies, enemies and friendlies, and friendly projectiles and enemies. But this is amusing me right now, so I'm going to leave it. And I could make it like move further. Oh, who have I got selected right now? Nobody. Okay. So I could have it move out of the way. What's the range on those things? And let's say that many steps and then just shoot after that. A little bit to be desired in the usability of this, but yeah, let's see what happens there. That was going to collide, but no. I can target that enemy and see its routine. So it's just gone straight through that one, collided straight through it, and our factory's getting hit. It doesn't seem to be working out very well. I think they're getting hit by the projectiles from both of them. I think I might try something a little simpler here. I'm just gotta have those change when something's selected. Let's go walk, walk, shoot, shoot, shoot. That might get them out of the way. The other one snuck through it. But yeah, once they bump back off each other, they'll be able to actually block each other. Okay, that one still died, but maybe this one won't as much. Maybe just walk, shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot, 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 walk. That one's just going to sit there, shoot, shoot, shooting because it didn't get the walk. Walk, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. Walk, shoot. Walk, walk, shoot. Just trying some different things here. Now, how are we looking here? Those health bars are going to be really useful. That's what I need. Did that one just shoot the other one in the back? I don't know. Anyway, that's sort of working. Let's move on to health bars. Let's just save all that. And get this robot out of here. Because we don't actually need that one. And I'll just save my scene and make sure everything's saved again. Just pop open my version control. Get that checked in. And health bars, how am I going to do those? I know away. Haven't done it for a while, but it should be okay. That basically just make lasers work. Make those do damage. And that's it to do. Let's just not include that. I don't even know if it might already be doing that. So I'll just leave that not checked in. What is this you want to do? Interesting. Get component allocates even if no components found. So I guess that means it's just going to be using memory every time. Use try get component instead. So if so you can basically do try get component projectile out var projectile. It's all very well, but then we'll not do that right now. That's not actually going to be a big issue. It's not happening every frame. It does happen a fair amount. So maybe just a little. Yeah, but I also have a lot of optimizations to do, and it's not the time to do them. Like using object pooling for the robots and for the projectiles and stuff like that. Okay, health bar. So I will use a slider. So let's just have a look. Oh, look, I got a to-do list here. Add health bars. Make lasers work. I've done that one. So I'll just delete that. I made a to-do list in the last stream by just using game objects. So I'm going to add health bars now. So let's make a UI canvas. So not using UI toolkit, just old Unity UI. There we go, and this is like health bar canvas. Don't really need to do it like that. I can just use spaces in here. It also doesn't matter, so I shouldn't be messing with it. Yeah, so health bar canvas, and what we want in here is a slider there. Nice slider. There we go. That's a health bar. Let's just get this canvas and put it in world space. And camera is, this is the camera that's related to that. But if I'm going to put this in a prefab, I don't know if that will work. I have to do some code to grab that thing. So yeah, basically my game is that big and this canvas is this big. So I need to make it much smaller. That's better. Oh, possibly. That's the canvas now is a good size. This slider, on the other hand, well, it is the wrong size. You need to just fit it into the canvas, basically. And yeah, left. I think that might make it go in the canvas. No, that is looking really weird. Anchors. Pivot at 0.5. Now, is it just that the background is stretched that way? Fill area. Right, 15. All this stuff is just way too big. I'm going to just delete this slider because I think I might have messed up the sizing of it. Just zoom into this health bar canvas, and I'm just going to move the whole thing like somewhere a bit out of the way. Now try adding a slider onto that and see if it works any better. Okay, so now let's scale it down much to my negative scale. Okay, I've given it a 0.01 scale, and that's sort of almost fitting in there. Oh, very important. Dropbox is almost full. I think my Dropbox has been almost full for like a year. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so what is that scaling doing? I've got the slider here, and it's centered instead of stretching, and it's got its width and that kind of thing. So if I were to get that slider and just try and resize it, would that do anything? It seems to work. 99 point something. Oh yeah, I got 0.01. So times 100 is 1. So yeah, that's the sort of size that I want. Health bar, yes, exactly. And I made the lasers work. So I can show you that in a minute, and the health bar should show them working. I don't know if I actually want to use a slider now that I think about it. I think that's a better way. I was just trying to throw something together quickly that will work. I've written a shader before that makes a health bar as well. But I mean, I guess I can just use the actual slider and yeah, I'll just use that'll be a health bar now for the moment, just temporarily. So color tint. What color is health? That can be a color, very red, reddish, bloodish. They are robots, so Yeah. What am I on here? I'm on the slider. And is it the fill area? Handle slide area. One of these probably has a fill. Okay. Let me just put colors on here to see. Okay, apparently that's affecting that as well. Fill here. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, wait. If I take that slider and set its value, it's between 0 and 1, and two whole numbers, 0 and 100, current value 50. Oh, okay, good. So I can actually see health. And so I should just take this, that whole handle and give it this color because we don't need that. And then that's our fill. And we'll make that we'll do red for health bars. It's traditional. And let's try that. I don't know how that'll fit in with everything else. And then the fill area. Is the which bit is the background? Maybe it's the one called background. Could be, who knows? Let's make that somewhat see-through. Like that. Just needs to be enough to show that there was health bar there. And I'll make it red so it actually stands out in front of that background. So I think that'll do for a health bar. And I'll just need a health bar. Some kind of way to get this connected to the hittable objects, I think. So anyway, that's a health bar canvas. Let's give, let's get that robot. No, let's grab, let me think. So I'm just thinking about reuse. So I basically want to attach a health bar to robot, health bar on the factory, things like that. And I was just thinking, well, I could pop it in the prefab, then it will just automatically be in there. Nesting prefabs can get messy if it's even possible. I remember there's a reason I don't tend to do it. So let's see, what will I do there? So I'll get I think I'll just have the health bar get generated from a prefab and have a reference to the prefab. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. So that's my health bar. And how are we going to position that? I don't know, but that's the canvas. So I'll just pop that at 0, 0 to keep things neat, which is just here. And we'll just rename that to health bar. That could be the name of the prefab. And cool. So now for any hittable object, it will need that that prefab. Do I always want these to have a health bar? Anyway, we'll do that. Give that a health bar prefab. Grab that robot. And I'll use that prefab in a moment on start to just attach the health bar at an appropriate location. So hittable object, that's where health bar prefab goes. So we'll grab that into there. And same for the factory, because that is a hittable object. So we'll give them that same type of health bar. We could put a different type of health bar if we wanted. And walls are hittable, but they don't really need a health bar because they're invincible. So, yeah. I think I just pressed shift a couple of times. No, actually, we don't want that to be required. So basically, if they have a health bar prefab, then they'll get a health bar. And if not, then they won't. So we'll just put that into start. Don't need the private keyword there. Don't need that private keyword there either. If we got a health bar prefab, then we want to add the health bar. Attach health bar. That does not exist yet. No problem. We'll generate that and write it. So it's just going to be instantiating prefab. Might just move that into there. That way you can't, since we need to check that anyway. So if we've got one, if we don't have one, then we won't do anything. Otherwise, we're going to instantiate a new one. And that's going to be at do it at the correct rotation. Or maybe we won't actually. This is an interesting one. The health bar will rotate with the thing, with the robot or factory that it's on. So that'll make sure that they're like upside down. But I think we basically want to do it like not at the center of them, but above them. So we want this position here. That's our offset. The health bar. just half of a up, half a unit up. So should be fine. So it'll instantiate it, and that is going to be our bar. Object, which is going to just be a type game object. So now we want to actually bar object dot get component. We want to get component like in children of type slider Unity Engine UI slider. It'd be nice if you're actually showing that properly. But yeah, that's the one. And I think we're going to save that as health slider. And that is going to be a variable in here. Go and update health bar. So this will be another one. We've got our hit points and our max hit points. So yes, if health slider is equal to null, just return because there's nothing to do. Otherwise, we will come here. What do we want? We've got value. Got hit points. Max value. Actually, I think that's something we can do here. Okay, so we go anywhere from 0 to max HP. And we can then update that, and it'll just set that HP value. And then we can just update that anytime that HP value changes. So where does that change? It's private, but serialized, so that I can set it easily. Here, HP. That's just displaying. So this is the one. I think that's after we've normalized that value, so it's not below 0. That's when we want to update health bar. Oh, too many letters in this. Get rid of one of those. Update health bar. So that might work. So now we should be attaching a health bar on start, updating that health bar whenever they take damage, which should be then the only time at the moment. But I could actually get make a property. So every time health gets set, changed, it would do that. Yeah, to do make a cool noise, that would be good. I should just record my voice going. So I'll just give that a run. See what happens. That is another Just going to close these animator tabs because they're generating these things. Look, health bars. Now they could be better positioned, but the health is getting reduced. And it's a bit hard to see. I think it's too transparent on there, isn't it? Yeah, it's like just too ghostly. Where's my health bar? There, health bar prefab. Well, that's not very useful. I can't actually see it in there. Did I have a health bar in the scene view? Yeah, this one here. Is that one just sitting there in the game as well? It is, right there. Cool. So I'll just change this health bar. Health bar. Background. Alpha. About 0.5. Is that better? That's what it looks like there. Not this easy to see. What if I grab that fill area, fill, change it to green? Then you'll be able to see that going down. So I think that'll do. So I will not be able to apply that to the prefab, will I? No. I'll just do that again. So we're going to fill, make that green, like so. And I'd even make the background be more like green and then dark. Like that. Still some transparency, but more like greeny. There. I don't want to spend too much time tweaking it. One more thing though, that offset of 0.5. Just make it like what's the height on that thing? 0.2. So it's like halfway out. So if we get it down by 0.1, it should fit a little better. So I'll try just 0.4. Okay, let's see if that health bar is working. And I did want to do a bit of a short stream today. Go and catch up on some rest and some just hanging out time. So I've still got my extra little health bar here. I'll just delete that for the moment. The walls don't have health bars because they're invincible, so that's worked. They are hitting each other with lasers, so that's good. And then running into each other, which is also good. So just try a different strategy. And I don't know if you saw before Omega Killer, but the friendly fire is on. So I haven't done anything with layers or anything to prevent projectiles hitting friendlies. It's not quite getting to the point with that one where it is destroying the enemy before it walks forward. Maybe this one will. Is it out of range there? Yeah. They're spawning with less than 100 health, aren't they? It'd be good to maybe display the health numbers as well. But here's the thing. These have just spawned. They shouldn't have taken any damage. So here's a robot. It has 100 hit points, and its max HP is 100. So what is going on with its health bar? Its health bar is a slider with minimum value 0, max value 100, current value 100. So if I just unpause that for a second, just mess with this slider. What? Oh, it's meant to have a thing. That one got exploded. Oh, I'm back on the game view. So these factories would be a good place to mess with the health bars because they're not moving. Friendly factories. Grab this factory, grab its health bar, slider. And yeah, that's because there's like the slider thumb that I removed. So they have their extra padding. Okay, I think I know how to fix that. So I'll just grab myself a health bar. Boom. There's the health bar. And get its slider here. Set it to 100. And that is basically because the that handle here that has a particular size, the knob, that's meant to be overlapping all of this. And so there's extra space at the sides to hold that handle. So really, we want the fill area to include all the way up to there, like that. Same size as the background, basically. So that's stretching all the way up to the fill area. Left 5, right 4. Okay. 4.965. I think we're going to go with 5 for those. That's filled right up to there now. And the fill's going all the way to there. And yeah, we have like a slice and sprite, that fill area. Yeah, what am I doing messing around? I think that's fine now. So I just need to apply that and see if they're working now, looking properly. Oh, hey, what is this question? Steam or mobile? Yeah, I haven't decided. I guess it would kind of work either way. It's a bit maybe hard to cram all of the stuff into a mobile screen, but it's kind of a problem for people who are trying to play on mobile, not so much a problem for me to think about yet. Let's see, got a few random floating health bars there. Oops. I think it's walking too far forward. It needs, the problem is I need this robot in front to have been destroyed first before doing this. So I might just get this one here. So I'll let them destroy. This one to do like walk, shoot, shoot. Maybe walk, triple shoot. Just here. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Walk, shoot, shoot. Oh, oh, not quite. It did get destroyed just before this one came and shot it in the back. And now I'll replace that with walk, walk, shoot, shoot, shoot. Maybe 4 shots. Oh, it survived, and it is damaging that one. And now still got hit. But that one's done more damage to the next one. There, that's starting to work. Are they going to get through to the factory? Oh, getting shot in the back here by its buddy. But at least its buddy can get through on full health there. Maybe they just shoot for even longer. And then they'll get shot in the back a lot, but they'll like walk into the enemy. They're still not quite getting to the factory. Yeah. So now it's ready to just pummel that one. It gets shot in the back before it can actually do anything. I think I might make them take an extra step. So extra step here and an extra laser there. See what happens. Yeah, I agree. It could work both on mobile and as a desktop game. I should actually get a release out. I just need to make sure that the screen size is going to work. And I can push a release out on Edge. It's the weekend. I'll do that tomorrow because I wanted to go get an early night now. I can come out first thing tomorrow morning and get it building for Edge. Get it set up on there. So I still haven't actually hit the factory yet at all. Like this, but interesting stuff's happening. Do I want one more step here and then do lots of shots? I feel like they just need to be getting a bit further forward and they'll hit the factory. Well, there we go. That one's, yep, chipping away at the factory slowly. Those factory health bars are upside down, but they're still doing +1 in world coordinates on there, so that's why they're not like positioned. They weren't first positioned and then rotated. Oh, that's cool. Took out the other one. Okay, so some of them are getting destroyed. I think it just depends how much damage the enemy's taken. But definitely that is hurting the factory. Or maybe that change that I made it hurt it. Well, I think that's going to do it for today because I need early night. But yeah, that works. But yeah, I'll definitely get it up on Edge because that's where I usually get things. Just there on that URL. That's where I tend to push games up. And once I get that happening, then once I get that set up, then I can just do that after I end each stream. Do a build. The build tends to kill the streaming software. Otherwise, I would do it sooner. All right, I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll have both. I'll have a nice rest of the day and a nice reast of the day. I don't know what a reast is, but like the reast of the day, that's got to be the best one of those. Yeah, you too. And anyone else who's watching. The eyeball says 3 people on there. And I'm not sure if they're all real, but that doesn't matter. Bots deserve entertainment as well. All right. So I'm going to... I'll stop this running. And stop this.